Helma Warden R., affectionately known as Ms. Helma by her students, was particularly concerned about one student, 10-year-old Maggie Vasquez, and whether she would be able to join her class on a 2-day hiking trip. Maggie, a bright and energetic fourth grader, suffered from cerebral palsy, leaving her unable to walk. The planned hiking trip wasn't wheelchair accessible, posing a unique challenge for Maggie's participation in the class trip. The trip was set for Camp Sullivan, a scenic campground located about 40 miles from their Chicago charter school, the Academy of Global Citizenship. While many might assume that Maggie wouldn't be able to go due to her disability, Miss Helma wasn't willing to accept that. She believed that every student should have the chance to experience the trip, including Maggie. Miss Helma's dedication to her students led her to spend months brainstorming and researching ways to make sure Maggie could be a part of the adventure. She refused to allow Maggie's disability to exclude her from the experience that her classmates would enjoy. After extensive planning, she finally found a solution. The answer came in the form of a special backpack designed to carry individuals with mobility challenges. This allowed Ms. Helma to physically carry Maggie on the hike. With the help of her family, friends, and the local community, Ms. Helma was able to acquire the specialized backpack. Once she had it, she trained herself to carry Maggie safely for the hike's duration. When the day of the trip arrived, Ms. Helma's efforts paid off. She carried Maggie throughout the hike, ensuring the young girl could fully participate alongside her peers. The sight of the teacher carrying her student on her back through the scenic trails was nothing short of inspiring. A photo of Ms. Helma and Maggie quickly circulated online, capturing the hearts of people worldwide. The image symbolized the power of inclusion, determination, and the lengths teachers often go to for the well-being of their students. The story of Ms. Helma and Maggie's adventure went viral, sparking praise for the teacher's selflessness and commitment. For Maggie, the experience was life-changing, as she was able to enjoy the outdoors with her friends, thanks to her teacher's unwavering support. This act of kindness demonstrated that with creativity, determination, and empathy, challenges can be overcome, and barriers to inclusion can be broken down. Ms. Helma's solution ensured that Maggie didn't miss out, leaving a lasting impact not just on her student, but on everyone who heard their story. For Ms. Helma, it was never a question of whether 10-year-old Maggie Vasquez would join her classmates on the trip to Camp Sullivan, but how to make it happen. Determined to ensure Maggie, who has cerebral palsy and is unable to walk, wouldn't miss out, Ms. Helma, along with other school administrators, began brainstorming ways to accommodate the fourth graders' needs. If no solution could be found, Ms. Helma was prepared to carry Maggie herself, and that's exactly what she did. There was no question she needed to come with us, Ms. Helma told CBS News, explaining that it was simply a matter of figuring out how. Various options were considered, including a special wheelchair, using a barrel for transportation, and even renting a pony. I inquired with a friend who had a pony, Ms. Helma explained, but the forest preserve didn't allow ponies, as they're only permitted on the horse path. Though tempted to break the rule and face the fine, she ultimately decided that wouldn't be a good example if I purposely broke the law. Undeterred, Ms. Helma turned to Facebook, asking her friends for advice on how to best help Maggie experience the hike with her classmates. Her post caught the attention of an employee named Greg at Recreational Equipment Incorporated, REI, an outdoor gear company. Initially, Greg couldn't find a carrier big enough for Maggie, but he didn't give up. About 2 weeks later, Greg reached out with good news. He had found a solution. Greg introduced Ms. Helma to a product called the Freeloader, a specially designed carrier suitable for larger children. The Freeloader would allow Ms. Helma to carry Maggie comfortably and safely throughout the hike. With this new piece of equipment, the plan finally came together, and Maggie would be able to join her classmates on the long-anticipated trip. When the day of the trip arrived, Ms. Helma strapped Maggie into the freeloader and carried her through the scenic trails of Camp Sullivan. It was a testament to her dedication as a teacher and her unwavering belief that every student deserves to be included in all experiences, regardless of their physical limitations. For Maggie, the experience was life-changing, as she got to enjoy the outdoors with her classmates, something that wouldn't have been possible without Ms. Helma's perseverance and creativity. Ms. Helma's efforts showed that with resourcefulness, compassion, and a never-give-up attitude, obstacles can be overcome and inclusivity can be achieved. Her solution to carry Maggie on the trip was more than just an act of kindness. It was a powerful reminder of the difference one person's determination can make in the lives of others. The Child Carrier, a product featured on Shark Tank, is designed to carry kids up to 80 pounds and costs over $300. Despite the high price tag, Ms. Helma wasn't deterred. She knew that this was the best solution to bring 10-year-old Maggie Vasquez on the class trip. After getting Maggie's approval, Ms. Helma purchased the carrier, fully aware of the physical challenge it would pose. Carrying Maggie on her back for the 2-day trip wouldn't be easy, but for Ms. Helma, it was an obvious choice. Ensuring Maggie's inclusion was her top priority. When the day of the trip arrived, thanks to Ms. Helma's determination, Maggie was able to join her classmates as 50 students and 10 school personnel embarked on the 2-day adventure. We saw birds, frogs, and deer, Ms. Helma fondly recalled. Maggie was able to do everything her peers were doing. She was one of us. Although carrying Maggie on her back through the outdoors was no easy feat, the effort was worth it. The carrier allowed Maggie to fully participate in the hike, making her feel included in every activity. Ms. Helma's commitment to her student demonstrated that when it comes to ensuring all children can meaningful experiences, no challenge is too great. The joy of seeing Maggie enjoy the trip, the same as any other student, made all the effort worthwhile. The bond between teacher and student deepened, and the experience left a lasting impact on everyone involved. Ms. Helma's willingness to go above and beyond highlighted the powerful impact a dedicated teacher can have, reminding us all of the importance of inclusion and compassion. There were moments when it was pretty hard, Ms. Helma admitted, reflecting on the challenging task of carrying her student Maggie on a class trip. But it was Maggie herself who kept her going. Maggie was amazing. She sang her own song. When you have a child who is enjoying the moment and being with her peers, those were the moments that helped me push through. It's not every day that a teacher literally shoulders the burden of a student's challenges, both physically and emotionally. But that's exactly what Helma Warden R. did for Maggie. And for this, the child's mother, Michelle Vasquez, was incredibly grateful. "It's been amazing," Michelle said, praising the teacher's dedication. Right off the bat, she met Maggie and got involved. Ms. Helma had known Maggie since the 1st grade and had been advocating for her ever since. "She's always been there for her," Michelle added. "It's not just about the camping trip. That's just one little piece of what she does for Maggie." Ms. Helma's selfless act on the camping trip was the culmination of years of dedicated care and advocacy for Maggie, a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy who uses a wheelchair to get around. For the trip, Ms. Helma knew the rough terrain of Camp Sullivan wouldn't be accessible for a wheelchair. But instead of accepting that Maggie would be left behind, Ms. Helma sought every possible solution to ensure that Maggie could join her classmates. The 2-day hike at the campground, located about 40 miles from their Chicago charter school, was something every student looked forward to. However, Maggie's condition seemed to present an insurmountable obstacle. But Ms. Helma wasn't willing to let that stop her. Determined to find a way, she spent months brainstorming ideas to bring Maggie along. She considered various options, including special wheelchairs and even the idea of renting a pony. When neither of those panned out, Ms. Helma turned to her online community for help. Through a recommendation from a friend, she discovered the Freeloader, a specially designed child carrier for older children and those with mobility challenges. Purchasing the carrier, which costs more than $300, wasn't a small commitment. But Ms. Helma didn't hesitate. After securing Maggie's blessing, She knew the physical challenge would be great, but she believed it was worth it. "There was no question in my mind," she said. "Maggie needed to come with us, and I was going to find a way to make that happen." The trip was a success. As about 50 students and 10 school staff embarked on the hike, Maggie was right there with them, carried securely on Ms. Helma's back in the freeloader. They explored the wilderness, observed birds and other wildlife, and shared moments that otherwise would have been impossible for Maggie to experience. "We saw birds, frogs, and deer," Ms. Helma recalled. "We were able to do everything her peers were doing. She was one of us." The physical task of carrying Maggie across uneven terrain for hours wasn't easy, but Ms. Helma never lost sight of the bigger picture. Each step was a testament to her commitment to inclusion and ensuring that all her students could have equal experiences. Maggie, who sang joyfully during the hike, inspired Ms. Helma to keep going when the load felt heavy. "When you see a child enjoying the moment, being with her peers, those are the moments that carry you through," she said. For Michelle, Maggie's mother, Ms. Helma's actions were nothing short of extraordinary. Because of her challenges, Maggie doesn't often get opportunities Michelle explained. Being out in nature and experiencing everything alongside her classmates was amazing for her. The camping trip gave Maggie a rare chance to fully participate in a school activity, something that she and her family will cherish for a long time. "Miss Helma went way above and beyond," Michelle added. "Her determination and willingness to go the extra mile mean the world to us." Ms. Helma's story has become an inspiration, not only to those who know her personally, but also to educators everywhere. It's a powerful reminder that teachers can make an incredible difference in their students' lives, often in ways they may not even realize. For Maggie, the camping trip was a dream come true. It allowed her to be a part of something she otherwise wouldn't have been able to experience. Surrounded by her classmates, she was able to explore nature and create memories that would stay with her forever. For Ms. Helma, the trip proved that no challenge is too great when you are driven by love, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility to your students. The physical difficulty of carrying Maggie during the trip was far outweighed by the joy of seeing her included and engaged with her peers. Maggie, a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy, faced challenges that made it difficult for her to participate in certain activities. The class camping trip to Camp Sullivan. Most might assume that her physical limitations would prevent her from attending such a trip, but Ms. Helma refused to let that be the case. Her determination to find a way for Maggie to join her classmates, despite the obstacles, highlights the true essence of what it means to be a compassionate educator. Through her creativity and perseverance, Ms. Helma found a solution, a specialized carrier that allowed her to physically carry Maggie on her back during the trip. The journey was physically demanding, but Ms. Helma didn't waver. She knew that the experience of being out in nature with her peers would be life-changing for Maggie. For the first time, Maggie was able to explore the outdoors alongside her classmates, seeing wildlife and creating memories that would last a lifetime. For Maggie and her family, this act of inclusion meant the world. Because of her challenges, Maggie doesn't get opportunities her mother Michelle explained. The camping trip was more than just a fun outing. It was a chance for Maggie to be fully part of something, to belong in a way that's often difficult for children with disabilities. It was a rare opportunity that gave Maggie a sense of normalcy and belonging, and it was all made possible by Ms. Helma's dedication. Ms. Helma's example should inspire not only teachers but everyone to embrace the values of compassion and inclusion. Her actions demonstrate that small, thoughtful gestures can make a significant impact, especially in the lives of children who often face barriers. It reminds us that inclusion isn't just about making accommodations. It's about creating spaces where every child feels seen, valued, and able to participate, regardless of their challenges. In the end, what Ms. Helma did for Maggie goes beyond a single act of kindness. It serves as a testament to the power of love and understanding in education and in life. By going above and beyond, she made a lasting difference, not only in Maggie's life but in the hearts of everyone who hears her story. It is through acts of dedication and compassion, those of Ms. Helma, that the world becomes a little brighter for everyone.